Well, there's big news on the horizon for Scream 7. Mathew Lillard from Scream and Scott Foley from Scream 3 are back. I had to do a video immediately to get my thoughts out on this thing. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Ectoviolence channel. My name is Alec. Today, we're talking Scream 7 news, specifically Scott Foley and Mathew Lillard announced for Scream. So there's lots of implications around this, you know what I mean? People are going wild on the internet right now. Personally, I saw the news and I kind of brushed over the Scott Foley one, because that was announced earlier in the day. I was just like, okay, I'm actually one of the few people who really like Scream 3, but the problem is, ever since what happened with Melissa Barrera, and then Jenna Ortega, and then the writers and directors, I'm a little peeved about Scream 7, you know what I mean? Don't know how I feel about it even happening. Sure, Sydney's coming back, I mean, you've got other people coming back, but like, do I give a shit? I don't know if I do anymore. And here's the thing, Scream's one of my favorite franchises, so I do, at least a little bit. So, with just the announcement of Scott Foley, we're thinking, alright, is he back? Are they following in that thing where they're sort of going to reference Scream 3s? Because, they reference Scream 1 with 5, they reference 2 in 6, they're going to reference 3 and 7? Are we getting there? Because what's interesting about 3 is, you have Roman, and he is using a voice changer. Something that is my biggest critique of that movie, because that didn't exist at the time. However, now, I imagine that could be a big part of Scream 7. I definitely think the voice changer is an interesting concept now, in 2024, because you can capture someone's voice with AI and do something like this. I almost hope the next Scream does something like that again to reference this one, because it would actually be plausible now. Back then, it's completely unrealistic, it's bizarre, I think the biggest plot point in this movie that didn't work for a lot of people for so many years. These days, though, I think it's kind of, And we'll pick up this talk again once we mention Mathew Lillard, because I think it could play into that, but we'll see. So again, he used this sort of voice changer technology to capture people's voices, which you can do now, and change it live. I don't know about a handheld device, but I'm sure someone could rig something up. It's a lot more realistic these days. And then we have the announcement of Mathew Lillard. And I do want to say, okay, this doesn't immediately mean that Stu is alive. I don't even know which I would prefer. Do I want him to still be dead and appearing to haunt somebody or something? Like, not a real haunting. He's not a real ghost. It'd be more like how Skeet Ulrich appeared in Scream 5 and 6. He's not a ghost. He's not a supernatural person. He's just kind of in her head. And in Scream 3, even Sydney has visions of her dead mother. So this stuff's very interesting to consider, because wouldn't you think they would want to keep this secret? That's another element to this. You'd think they'd want to surprise us if Mathew Lillard was going to come back as the big bad in Scream 7. Speaking of, it always really bugs me when I see this picture of Mathew Lillard from Twin Peaks: The Return, and people have added scars to his face to imply this is Stu. But if he's back in this, is he going to be a ghostly figure? Is it going to be flashbacks? Is he going to be alive? And if he is alive, is it going to be a small cameo? Is it going to be a huge role? What are we talking here? And the thing is, with Roman Bridger being back, I didn't immediately think, oh, he's going to be a ghost for sure. But now that you've announced these two people in the same day, basically, it definitely has me thinking that this is some sort of haunting for Sydney. I think a lot of people are thinking this, because we're trying to figure out why the hell they would do this. Is it just fan service? Are both of these characters alive? Are both of them dead? Is one of them alive, one of them dead? Roman's not one of the people's favorite characters or anything. Scream 3 is, a lot of people's opinion, the weakest of the franchise. I don't necessarily agree with that, but... So I'm just trying to think, where are they coming from with announcing this? Again, sad to say, I love Mathew Lillard, but I'm not excited for him to be back in this franchise. I'd rather see him move forward in other stuff. Because if you were going to bring him back, the time would have been Scream 3, which they originally were going to do, but there was a bunch of elements with Columbine, and stuff happened, and that script got changed completely. The next time to do it would have been Scream 5. You had the ghost of Billy, so why not bring back Stu as the killer who's, would have made more sense there, I think, personally, but who knows, because if Stu's coming back, I'm sorry to say, but my gut is telling me that he's just going to be in a sort of haunting role. He's going to appear to Sydney. Same with Roman. The fact that they were announced the same day really has me suspicious. They've announced cast members returning from Scream 5 and 6, just not Melissa and Jenna. So again, a thing to consider is this AI thing. AI is very prominent right now, and the Scream movies always comment on current stuff with movies, so I guarantee they're going to talk about AI in movies at some point. That's going to be a conversation some of these characters are going to have. But I also imagine it's going to play into Ghostface. Again, referencing Scream 3 in this sort of cycle of how they've been doing things. I know this isn't the same team, but if they were smart, that's what they would continue to do. And they would have a voice changer that would be there to potentially fuck with Sydney. These could just be voice cameos. However, I don't think they would go as far as announcing these people if they were just going to be voice cameos. I think they'd let them just be surprised for that too. Like, I think it has to be somewhere in the middle for it to even be announced. Because this isn't a leak, it was like an official announcement and stuff. Like, Mathew Lillard posted on Instagram, and all the news outlets are picking it up, and everybody's talking about it. So, something's up. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, because I'm just wondering, what are all the possibilities? Number 1, he's alive, he's in jail, he's maybe doing that cult thing that was from the original plot of Scream 3. Number 2, he's alive, he's like not in jail, and he's doing Ghostface shit. Number 3, he's alive, out of jail, and just hanging around. I don't know. Number 4, he's dead. He appears as a vision, possibly to Sydney or to someone else. I feel like it'd have to be to Sydney. Number 5, he's dead, but is used in AI or flashbacks or something like that. Like, these are the only possibilities that I can see. So let me know if there's stuff I'm not thinking about or what you think is more likely. Because to me, I'm thinking the visions is the most likely, because we've seen those before in Scream. If we just start bringing characters back from the dead, it's going to kind of, you know what I mean? I don't know. Well, that's it. That's my thoughts on the Scream 7 announcements. I've actually reviewed Scream 1 through 3 on VHS before. I actually just compared the original VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K of the original movie. You can check that out as well. I'm a big fan of these movies, so, you know, it's just like, I hope they know what they're doing. And if you like this video, be sure to check out this one and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.